I think it's really sad that they can fast track rules and policies for statues based on these racist people that made our people suffer. But in everyday normal people that have certain defects and disabilities, it's a problem. They act like it doesn't exist. And stuff like that really get on my nerves, man. And I don't want to mess up his name, so I would just say there was a 14-year-old recently who lost his life, got racially abused, stabbed to death. There's no policy in place for that. There's no fast track for that.
I heard he's 14 and I heard it was grown men.
Yeah. At least
Birmingham, yeah?
Yes. I can't remember his name and I don't want to mess his name up. So, for most of you that know, this kid is now passed on. Highly racially charged attack, receiving racial slurs and things of that nature. Then was stabbed to death. But anytime somebody like Stormzy says that there's racism in the UK, he's met with so much pushback.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody of certain stature says that the UK has not left their colonial roots and they're not taking MBEs, right? They're not getting the verified checks, they're not meeting the Queen, they're not doing all this stuff based on the fact that her empire, because that's who they represent every time they go and colonize a place, her empire, her infrastructure, and the way her and her ancestors chose to do things is still reflective of us right now, to the point where a 14-year-old will never be 15, will never be 16, will never be 21, or any of those ages ever again. Thank God I made it to 29. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and there's no fast track policies for this. The fact that a 14-year-old can get stabbed up by 30-plus-year-old men just because of this, thing right here, is sickening. It's horrible. It's tasteless. Nothing's gonna happen to these people. We don't even know what they look like, and they're making it sound like it's a rumor. They're trying to justify it and say things like, "Oh, he was, carrying a knife. He must have done something. He was carrying something. He did something." No.
They're saying they're not treating it. They're saying the stuff you said.
Yeah.
There's all this racial attacks on him.
Yeah.
And they're saying they're not treating the murder as racially motivated.
Ridiculous.
Which doesn't make sense if they're saying all this racial stuff, but they're not treating it as.
How can you not treat it as if it's a racially motivated attack? And why is there nobody in these places? You guys will sit down and argue about whether kids can have school meals, but people are dying and you guys won't sit down in Parliament and actually tackle this problem. Do you see why I cuss these people out all the time? Because there's real issues out there. There are deaf people that don't have services directly linked to them when they can't live their life. There are 14-year-olds that are dying. Okay? Our people are being locked up and mistreated constantly. But the minute somebody that you like or somebody that is from here blows up, whether it be musically, whether it be cinematically, whether it be technology-wise, scientist-wise, whatever, the minute they blow up and people find out that they're from the UK, you want to claim them until they turn around and say, this place is full of racism, it's not right, things need to change, our people don't have scholarships, so I'll fund the scholarships. And now everybody says, what about the white people in the scholarships? So Stormzy can't even do a good thing for his people. He can't even give our people the education that we lack. Because the minute he does that, then everybody start asking about everybody else. Like, that ain't the problem. If it was very inclusive and there was scholarships for everybody, then Stormzy wouldn't need to fund the scholarship program for our people. It sounds like common sense, but these people really sit down and have the time to scream at Storms and to scream at anybody else, Marcus Rashford and all these other people, right? Because they choose to do something for us, because the Parliament and the people in Parliament and the parties that represent the country not doing it. Because anybody else of that stature that don't look like us is refusing to do it. Some people in our community are refusing to do things. But you want to fast track a policy about whether we can pull down these racist colonial statues that get immortalized by the same people telling us that this place ain't racist. So how do you immortalize a racist and then say that there isn't racism in the country when you've just immortalized one? So if the people want to pull down their statues, I think they have the right to do that. King Aries just said that our people outside are protesting for the right to protest. Do you see how crazy that is? This is why I use this platform to talk about it, because nobody's talking about it on the news, okay? Nobody's bringing enough attention to it, and it needs to be addressed. 14-year-old kids can't be dying and everybody act like nothing happened. Where was it? In Birmingham, right? I'm sorry, maybe I'm not I'm not, the biggest geological expert, but Birmingham ain't part of the UK. Or everybody want to act like it's just London.
No, but they're saying they did a poll and survey and stuff, and they saying the UK ain't racist. Remember that?
Which is preposterous.
And then all the black people said what? And then recently, documents have come out.
Yes.
For the royal family.
Mm-hmm.
So the documents clearly state you can't have any kind of managerial or supervisory position within the companies that help run the royal family, as far as that take care of their estates and the housing or working back in Paris. People of colour or non-whites in the documents can only be hired in a domestic capacity.
So if we're not cleaning out your toilets
in their own documents
and scraping up your bins and sinks, then you won't give us positions that actually matter.
That's crazy. So it has nothing to do with your experience, your education, your background, whatever. Innit?
But that ain't racist? That ain't covertly racist?
That's crazy. What I saw was, so I wasn't shocked, but the fact that they have this in writing.
Well, yeah. This is part of the reason why Harry left. Harry took his wife and said, "We out. I've got a black baby I gotta raise. No, I'm out of it. I'm out."
That's crazy, man.
And that's my whole point. I'm just saying, like, there's so many levels of racism. It's ridiculous. So King Aries has basically just said the royal family has racism in writing. And stereotypes in writing, basically, that stop our people from elevating to actual managerial positions. And the only way that we can actually be around them is if we're cleaning them. Well, if we're cleaning up after them, we're setting things up for them so they don't go do nothing. Anything outside of that, anything of assets, numbers, figures, and percentages, or wealth in general, right, that they don't even have to look after or monitor, we're not allowed.
Yeah, in a nutshell, yeah.
But if we're cleaning up after them, washing their plates, emptying their bins, dusting their jewelry and things of that nature, cutting their grass, just like they were forcing us to do for free, then yeah, we're allowed to do that.
That's crazy, right?
But the UK not racist though.
But it's like there's a lot. The system's so broken, man. Like when you think of diversity and inclusion, it's just making me think like this pandemic has exposed a lot of things to like the bare skeletons.
Yeah.
When you see it. Like think about so many things that you either can't do or can't sort out, or that will just take long now because places are not opening. There's different times. People work from home. Any kind of service that you're used to using. Just think about that, yeah. And now think about a person in a wheelchair needing to do that. That thing that is hard for you to do right now. Think about a person with loss of sight needing to do that. Do you know what I mean? Think about a person with hearing problem needing to do that. Mobility issues.
Yeah.
Or a learning difficulty. Or any, you know what I mean? Like, and you just think, damn. Like even within our suffering, there is a silenced, unspoken level of suffering far beyond ours. Yeah. That, you know, if we can just take a moment just to think about. Do you know what I mean? If you wanna, it's a pandemic. It's a virus attacking lungs and stuff. So if you wanna, you know, try and keep healthy and try and improve your cardiovascular and all that stuff, and gyms are closed. Oh man.
Yeah.
Gyms were closed. Outdoor gyms were closed. It was winter. It might be a bit too cold for you to go out to get your little run, but you might try and figure something out. You might just go for a walk. You know, you might try and figure something out. Yeah. Now think about someone who needs to get the same lungs as you healthy because the virus will affect them too. But they would need assistance because they would need a personal trainer in the gym, or they would need, do you know what I mean, someone to see for them all. Do you know what I mean? But now there's a pandemic. It's not like you can just, this is so inconvenient, but what I'll do is this evening after, I might just go for a walk. Whereas that person might need someone to link their arm, but there's no touch. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's sad. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we've come a long way. There's so many buildings that enter that you automatically see a push button for the door, ramps, like I said, induction loops, big font, big text, tactile pavements.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we've come a long way, but it just shows you how much even some of that is still the bare minimum. It's just the sexy stuff to make sure we can secure funding for what these parties really want. Do you know what I mean? It's really, a lot more needs to be coming out of this pandemic, where we all wanna, like, I wanna go on holiday and have a great time and enjoy life. So some kind of normality and enjoyment. Coming out of this pandemic also, we really need to look at people who don't get to experience the things we take for granted. And there needs to be an upgrade for them as well. Like, you know what I mean?
I think so.
And we need to really open these discussions with our local representatives and politicians, and, you know what I mean, all these people that want to build an Olympic swimming pool or whatever, a Millennium Dome and all this kind of stuff. We need to really look at how we can make some of these, just not just policies change. It's just, a lot of these, it's legislation, like how we can actually make these things affect people's real lives.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But then again, it comes down to how open the people that are put in power are to the voice of the people. So imagine having a government that's supposed to govern people, and they choose to sit in the comfort of their homes, where they don't have to suffer. Everything's given to them just based off of credit, and the money that they do get is just paid for the fact that they get to sit there and make decisions for us. And we don't have no representation in those same places, at those same tables, because of the fact of the matter is our representation's on the other side, and we barely get any to sit at the table, let alone push or suggest or request an actual piece of legislation, let alone it actually getting taken seriously, looked at by the same people that are making it difficult for us in the first place. So it's like almost like a triple entendre. We're suffering, we don't have nobody to represent us and say our people are suffering, and then on top of that, there's a whole party dedicated to keep us in the positions that we're in so we continue to suffer. And that's just us on a human level. Then you have, and I don't want to use the word disabled, but people that have difficulties living their life and getting around. And that's just the physical. There's also the mental health part of that too, and how much support they get, and what they can do and can't do. Then there's the verbal. There's so many layers to this.
I think we all need to play our part. Just hold.
Come on.
It's very easy for us to be selfish and stuff. That's what I said. I'm glad I experienced that situation, how frustrating it was, and how I felt, and how, do you know what I mean? Because I think we all need to be playing our part and just holding these people accountable. If you're someone that engages in your local party or in politics, whatever, then this is something I'll urge you to look into more and try and bring up, whatever, innit? Because that's how change is made at the small political levels. Because come election time, that's what they want to run with. Do you know what I mean? And if you're someone that's trying to do any kind of, I guess, youth work, community work or whatever, I urge you just to look into like the full inclusivity of it. Do you know what I mean? Because we're fighting very specific battles, a lot of us. And I believe some of these battles can be put together, man. And we can really bring a bigger change. Do you know what I mean? A much bigger change. Because this is England and it's 2021. And it's, you know what I mean? It's up to the people to hold. If we're not holding the powers to be and the parties accountable and pushing these agendas, like you're saying, that's why, you know, certain things won't get taken seriously.
Yeah.
Like, we can go to Parliament, we've seen it time and time again, and argue for why drugs should be banned. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that we can't do it, and we can protest against our statues and stuff. So at the same time, we can also argue of why people should receive the same services we get, because that ties in directly with why needy children should receive the same food we get.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree with it. And I feel like we can only do as much as we can with what we have right now. We don't have the influence to change these circumstances and situations. But there are people out there that do. And they're quiet. And now's not the time to be quiet. Okay? We're in the middle of a pandemic and people are suffering. They need help. A lot of you influencers need to pick up the damn phone and start making calls. A lot of you people in Parliament need to actually start bringing attention to this stuff. Stop arguing about minimum wage. Imagine somebody that don't get minimum wage arguing about minimum wage.
Someone that gets an allowance.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And it's this has been happening for centuries. This isn't something that we're just bringing up now. This is centuries old debates. Why are you guys debating what the people that aren't in your position get and not get? Why is that happening?
Control.
Why are people that don't need benefits saying that people that need benefits can't have benefits? I don't understand that. Funding being cut for no reason. And then you blame it on tax that's already high anyway. It's a constant century-long loop, and it has to stop. It has to. So I refuse to just sit idly by and watch people that don't like you was talking about certain parts of the body. I broke my leg and I had to stay in my house for months. You was here for some of those times. It was the most difficult time in my life because I couldn't do my everyday what I needed to do. I needed support. There's people out there that don't have limbs. I didn't have my leg for a few months, and it was the hardest thing I've ever been through. There are people out there that don't have their bottom half. And they still gotta go toilet, they still gotta shower, they still gotta do everything, but now they need help to do those things. Every time they get up, they need support. When they go to sleep, when they get up, the first thing they're thinking of is support. It's mind-boggling. It really is. And it shouldn't take two black brothers on a podcast to bring attention to this thing before it actually becomes a thing. But unfortunately, we're in a society where everybody cares about who Kim Kardashian want to date next more than the people that actually need help.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It really is. Everybody is content with reality TV. You know what reality TV is? Reality TV is a scripted, almost real version of what life could be like and what they want you to see. So we would rather sit down and watch scripted reality, and the mixtape is called reality TV, and it's all full of fake things in it. So we have gone to a point in our lives where we can sit down and watch everybody else act like they're doing something instead of actually writing letters to these people in power to do something about what's going on. And the very point and the fact of the matter, what our point is, why is it that we're the only ones talking about this stuff? No one else is talking about this.
Now they will.
So
It starts with one.
King Aries planted the seed and I'm watering it. Like we gotta do better. We gotta do better. We have to. Because this is ridiculous. That incident that King Aries went through was just one out of thousands, like you were saying, of people like that don't got support, man. But we can't wait 5 minutes on hold. Imagine your whole life being on hold. Think about it and do better. So I just wanted to add the emphasis on that, man.
Let's get to the BunDat section.
We do this every week.
You should have bun.
You know. Because we do this every week. And every week is some new crock of BS. Every week.
Joris Bonson?
Yes. Did I not tell you guys that list was BS?
You didn't catch that.
Oh, they cool. I heard it. And his name should be Joris. It should. You don't even deserve to have your name said on this podcast anymore. Okay. You gave us a timeline. You gave us a list. Now June 21st is a myth.
Yeah?
Yes. It's a myth. I told you, Lon. I said this.
I need to go
weeks
outside.
ago.
I want to go outside.
No, we can go outside. We can't just go outside the way we want. You can travel, but you can't really travel. And this is the fool that said by June everything will be back to normal. So, Joris Bonson, because that's your new name. Yeah?
Because that way we can't get sued.
We're not going to get sued anyway.
BunDat.
I've had enough of you, bro.
Yeah.
Your fake lists, your fake toupee head, your fake hairline. You probably got fake teeth.
It's got secretly buried in it.
Okay? Your skin, it looked like your skin shed off.
Yeah, secret marriage.
Now we definitely going to get... Anyway, it look like your skin shed off and you ain't even real. You look like a cyborg, bro.
Lizard people.
You know what I'm saying? He looked like he really a cyborg and the real Joris Bonson is in Timbuktu somewhere.
It's personal.
I'm saying it is personal. You lied to our people. You went on big national TV and lied to our people. Damn. And it was a massive announcement. You really got certain ages of people that believe in what you say. All these old people that you grew up with actually believe that you're good for the country. These 50 plus people think that you're making the right decisions because they like the fact that you went to, where was it, Harvard, or what business school did you go to? I don't care. He went somewhere. He went to one of those nice schools, you know, that our people ain't privy to, which is why Stormzy gives us scholarships. And that's why he's popular.
That's why he's Prime Minister.
Yeah. He didn't work for it.
That's the requirements.
He didn't work for it. What did he do for it? He didn't work. He went to the right school and he was representing the country very poorly, I might add. And now you're in a position to actually influence change and you're lying and you ain't doing nothing. They call you red-handed lying multiple times.
Was it Keir Starmer?
Right? Multiple lies upon lies upon lies. I'm sick of you. I can't wait till you step down so I can cuss you some more. Along with David Cameron and Theresa May and Tony Blair and all of these other liars. Yeah, all of them. David Cameron, Tony Blair, Theresa May. I mean, right back to Margaret Thatcher.
Tony Blair, the war criminal.
Right back to Thatcher. All of them. Y'all all need to go. All of y'all.
In the bin.
Yes. Bun all of you lot. Every last one of you lot continuing to make life difficult for people.
Bun Babylon.
Yes. Okay, y'all all a bunch of... You know what? At this point, I'm convinced that's your job. Your job is to get up on big-ass national worldwide TV and lie.
The Pretty Petard card.
Yes, and lie about what's going to happen just so that when it mess up, you then... So imagine lying and then denying that you lied so you can lie about the lie that you lied in the first place.
In 4K. Damn.
So, Joris Bonson... BunDat. You go ahead. That's my own.
I've got a big BunDat.
Go ahead.
Big BunDat.
Yep.
Yeah. King Aries.
Whoa.
BunDat.
Whoa.
And this one I'm bunning myself.
Whoa.
This one I'm bunning myself.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's, I set the flames. I did my own.
That's new.
I'm bunning myself. The reason I'm bunning myself is when this man came to me with his disability. In hindsight, the way I felt when I look back after we spoke of the situation, in hindsight, I felt there was an arrogance with me. There was an arrogance and just a bunch of assumptions. I assumed, I talk to them and it's long and it's annoying. Just suck it up and just stay on the line. It is long, but once you get through to someone, you can talk to them. No, I can't talk to them. I'm partially deaf, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So there's a assumption of, okay, let me call for you, and then, you know, like the savior complex, like the thing we look at, you know, the white saviors and stuff, the things that we criticize. I sort of build on myself. Let me call for you. I'll call them. I'll get it sorted, innit? This thing you've been having issues with, that your mates have ran up and they couldn't do much. Let me fix it, innit? What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Rang up and go through those motions, brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. Because you know me, I'm tenacious. You know me, I ain't.
You trying.
If I start something,
you trying everything.
If I start something,
You trying everything.
There must be a guy above the guy.
Yeah. There has to be something.
Brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. Can't get through security clearance. These calls are recorded. The only people TFL legally works with that can mediate for someone, it sits in an advice bureau, the offices are closed, you have to call or email. Like, do you know what I mean? It's brick wall after brick wall after brick wall after brick wall after brick wall, in which I had no choice but to be humbled.
Yeah.
So that even when we found our solution, I even had to be humbled in that, knowing that even after this, even after you fill out this thing, even after telling you to put screenshot, even after this, there's a possibility you're gonna walk away and you're gonna get an email or a phone call next week saying, we need to talk and this can't be done. You know in a situation, it's called a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
And I believe those situations show you who you are and what you're made of. Because he thanked me and everything, and I couldn't accept his thanks. Because he now has to walk away with the possibility that this might get resolved.
Yeah.
That was the best he can do. With all my problems with these calls that I make too, I get to walk away with just the annoyance, but it's resolved.
But
he can't do
that.
He has to walk away with the possibility. And that's why I'm budding myself, because then it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, man. Just suck it up. Like, just listen, let me just call it. Do you know what I mean? Where in hindsight, I'm looking back on it as in, it's weird. It's like, I had to experience it to make it real to me.
Yeah.
Which in itself, I feel is wrong as well. Do you know what I mean? Because imagine if it took everyone here having to go through such thing to then want to do something. Number one, not everyone's going to go through such things, so then not everyone's going to want to do something, which is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's what I'm banning myself. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
That's what I'm banning myself. But I'm coming out of this just more aware and with more understanding and trying to look into this stuff more. Because we can all do a part. We've all got someone in our family, in our immediate family, we're connected to, a friend, a shopkeeper. We've all got someone that is suffering in silence, and whatever else you're taking, there's a level of suffering beyond that, and something needs to be done.
Definitely. I think we're going to end on that note. I've been AJ Raw,
King Aries,
and you just finished listening to
BunDat podcast.
Like, comment, share, subscribe. Look out for Planet Godman on our comics. The digital version actually should be out right now. Yeah, this has been a great one. Hold your people accountable, and let's all do more.
Man,
we out.
Cool. June 21st. They're gonna open up outside. I'm keeping faith alive.
House, man.
I'm keeping faith alive. I wanna go outside.
Nah.